Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number two. As I just dropped my phone just now. Welcome to race number two of season four of the NR 2003 Red Bull GT Series. Getting ready for 20 laps of racing here at Riverside International Raceway here in California. On the pole position is Matty Crenshaw. Now, Matty Crenshaw excuse me, I just had some pop, so if you hear me burping, I do apologize about that. Anyway, Maddie Crenshaw finished 27th last week at Coca Cola. She is alongside reigning champ Kyler Anderson, 23rd last week. And of course, if Kyler falls out of the top 35, he will have the champion's provisional and will not take part in go or go home qualifying if that ever happens in that season. Trinity Lee is in row number two. She's finished 18th last week, and Skylar Taylor finished 9th last week at Coca-Cola. Bradley Reams, the points leader, by 4 points over Cody Goforth, J Ard. Sarah Redmond's the rookie points leader. And she's 6 points back of the overall points lead. Alexander Underwood is 5th. Jonathan Wong, second of the Rookie of the Year standings, is 6th. Vanko Siemens, third in the Rookie of the Year standings, is 7th. Then it's Ricky Cervantes, Skylar Taylor, and Reggie Fogelman, who's tied with fellow rookie Lucian Bianchi. There's a look at the rest of the starting lineup before I forget today. And let's get these cars moving. Some of the Oreo Cup Series drivers took part at this track not that long ago, so they might have the upper advantage over everybody else in this race. 20 laps doesn't seem like a long race, but consider this is a road course, it's going to be a long race. As Matty Crenshaw will lead the field off of the final corner, and race number two of the Red Bull GT Series is green. Let's go racing, drivers! This is probably where the trouble spot's going to be, right up here. As everybody's just tiptoeing their way. And wow, I'm amazed they got through that somehow. I'm really amazed they got through. And forgive me if you're hearing me munching on something. I'm trying out Skill's new freeze dried candy, so please excuse me if you're hearing me munching while I'm calling this race. Matty Crenshaw led the first lap of the race. By the way, Courtney Lynn, John Smith the fourth, Brooke Packett, Sebastian Palmer, Zachary Fitzwater, and the 77, as Kyler Anderson just took the race lead. Those 6 drivers failed to qualify for this race, for anyone asking. The reason I had to redo this race was because there was a little issue that I had to fix with the 33, because for some apparent reason, yeah, this driver right here, John Schmidt, where it gave the 33 an extra start when it shouldn't. So yeah, so I had to take care of that little problem. Get get that fixed. Because the scoring deal likes to give me a complete nightmare as far as that is concerned. And of course, the 77 failed to qualify for this race. Or wait a minute. No, the 77's in the field. I'm sorry, my mistake. It's just John Smith IV failed to qualify. Sorry, I'm growing old, okay? Forgive me. Back here at the rear of the field, a couple of people who had good runs like J Ard back here at the rear of the field with Emma Kaiser. That's Jonathan Wong, who, by the way, was second. He was second in the Rookie of the Year standings. The gal he's trying to run down for the Rookie of the Year right now, Sarah Redmond, she's running in 10th. Of course, Sarah Redmond was a late entry to this series, believe it or not. Of course, Sarah Redmond, we know her from what used to be the Buffalo Wild Wings series and all that, yada, yada, yada. As we're going to have a lead change here, Kyler Anderson, Maddie Crenshaw. As I had to put my work socks on because my feet are blistering cold. As I'm recording this, we just recovered from having one of the coldest weather we've had here in Oklahoma. Like a couple of days ago, as I'm recording this, it was like the low was about, if I had to take a wager, like 5 degrees, but it felt like 20 below zero. Yikes. I'm not used to this kind of weather, the extreme cold air. So that's never fun. And the caution is out for the first time today. Speaking of not fun, that's not fun for Maddie Crenshaw, who now has to fall in the pace car. Who brought out this yellow? Reggie Fogelman, who had a top 10 run last week, is in trouble. Yeah, he's got a little buckled up hood on his Budweiser machine. Who else was involved? I don't think John Schmidt. Yeah, he's got some rear end damage on that 33. And remember, the 33 had to race their way into this event via the Go or Go Home qualifying session, so this is not what the 33 needed. So that's probably not the debut he was looking for. Reggie Fogelman's on pit road. I wonder if this corner right here they're passing is the reason for the yellow. And we're going to document that in just a minute as we will drop back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Reggie Fogelman and the 33. Well, this corner has been one of the trouble spots, and we saw in the Oreo Cup series, and now we've seen it here in the GT series. Excuse me there. I apologize for that little cough. As it looks like Sam Tinley gets the wall. 33 was trying to slide up, thinking he was clear. Unfortunately, he wasn't clear, and sent Sam Tinley in the wall a second time. Kyle Langeland, that was a bit closer than what he needed. And you see everybody is trying to avoid. Everybody will avoid except the 06 right there. That's Timo Mauser. Oh, Andrew Williams got a piece of it. Didn't realize he was involved in this incident. And then there's the contact with Reggie Fogelman in the side of the 33. And I think I saw the black smoke of... Or, I don't know if we had the black smoke of death. And the problem with the sand trap is when you get stuck in the sand trap and you lose a lot of speed and then you just get synced into it quickly, like a gets synced in it fast, and then you just have nowhere to go. And that's a tough break for the 33 of John Schmidt. Made the race after failing to qualify last week at Coca-Cola. Had high hopes. Unfortunately, he's going to be out of contention for a good finish as the yellow's out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at Riverside. Green flag going to go back in the air on lap number 7 of 20. And here's the other part for the 33 that's going to suck. All restarts will be single file restarts because there's no way to have lap cars on the inside and all that, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, Maddie Crenshaw is the leader. Kyler Anderson second. Skylar Taylor third. Addison Peterson fourth. Addison really needs to get her start. Needs to start getting out of the danger zone. Bonzo Albanus is fifth. Trinity Lee sixth. Shyla Askarov seventh. The 20 is eighth. Trying to remember the driver's names. That's Jojen Schmidt. or no, Jojen Smith, sorry. I get the two Smith and Schmidt part mixed up, so I apologize about that. Bradley Reim ninth and his teammate Alexander Underwood will complete the top 10. Nobody out of the race after that. And of course, Reggie Fogelman, who had a good run last week at Coca-Cola, he's really going to take a hit in the standings. Green flag back in the air here at Riverside. And because of how the pace laps are so long here at Riverside, as Matty Crenshaw just got up into the dirt there. Kyler Anderson, there's Addison Peterson. Careful. As, Addie got, there goes Skylar Taylor into the wall along with the 99. Now we know why the 9 was trying to be careful there. That's going to drop Kyler Anderson and Skylar Taylor outside the top 10. As the 5 made some heavy contact to the outside retaining wall. I was going to say before that happened, Addison Peterson needs to get herself out of the danger zone. She finished dead last week at Coca-Cola, so she really needs to get out of the cellar of the points table. As Matty Crenshaw leads the race. Forgot to mention the 12 of Ponzo Albanus raced his way into this event via the Go or Go Home session you saw this morning. As looks like the 20 of Jochen Smith in trouble. So he's starting to drop back through the running order. I think he was the one that won the Red Bull Rookie Showcase. I could be wrong, but I know somebody will correct me. And like I said, just bear with me. I'm just still trying to learn names and all that, the new people's names as far as that is concerned. Oh, and should I mention Bradley Reim comes in this race as the points leader? Should I remind everybody? Which I don't think anybody needs a reminder. Where is the guy that came in this race second in points? That would be Cody Goforth running in 13th. So right now, as things stand, looking at the running order, Bradley Reim, as of right now, he would keep the points lead heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Saitama. That is when we start the quote-unquote Japanese tour. Checking back here at the rear of the field. Oh, wow. Skylar Taylor lost a lot of positions after pancaking the left side of her Jaguar, and she's in danger of going a lap down as a result. Reggie Fogelman, Andrew Williams back here at the rear of the field. Andrew finished 22nd at Coca-Cola last week. Reggie Fogelman had a top 10 run last week at Coca-Cola, and looks like that's definitely... Oh, somebody's off in the gravel trap. That's Henrietta Fitzwater. Caution's out. And J Ard, who had a great run last week. And what a huge break for Skylar Taylor, who is in danger of going a lap down. What a timing of that caution. And we're also being told Matthew Hubert has gone behind the wall with a gearbox failure. That's a tough break for Matthew Hubert. This is going to hurt him in the points. So Skylar Taylor just caught a lucky break as the caution is out for the second time today at the midway point of the event. Let's jump back and look at a replay to see what happened to J Ard. All right, here's what happened to J Ard. Looks like she was in a 3-wide situation with Eric Alpha, made contact with Eric Alpha, and then goes into Henrietta Fitzwater, and then BAM! Into the wall with the 40. And then Henrietta Fitzwater, just an innocent bystander in that ordeal. Henrietta Fitzwater finished in 19th last week. Her husband failed to qualify for the second week in a row. And J Ard, who had a brilliant top 5 run going at top 5 last week at Coca-Cola, she's going to fall definitely outside the top 10 points. So we're going to definitely have a bit of a point shakeup heading into next week's race. And this gal right here got a very lucky break as she needed a caution to get back to catch up to the field, and she got one. As the yellow's out for the second time today, let's get to the restart here at Riverside. Wait, as I was getting ready to say, waiting for the lights to go on the pace car, and now they've gone out, so we're going to go back to green on lap number 12 of 20. That will be 9 laps to go. Maddie Crenshaw is the leader. Let me put it on TV too, by the way, so we can see the field. Addison Peterson in second, Trinity Lee third. Bonzo Albanus in fourth. Shyla Askarov completes the top 5. Then it's Alexander Underwood, Kyler Anderson, Bradley Ream, Ricky Cervantes, and Yogan Smith, the top 10. That way I'm not derping on who is who. J Ard is out of the race, and she will join the 15 of Matthew Huber. And Matthew was trying to get himself in the top 35, but with a 42nd place finish, that's not really going to get him in the top 35. So that's going to be him having to try to make the field in our next race in 2 weeks at Saitama. Of course, we have the Japanese One Tour Punch coming up. Green flag back in the air. Addison Peterson trying to take the lead on the 36, but as you've seen, she is on the wrong side of the track trying to make a move. And Addie could, maybe not, and nope. Well, somebody's going to have to give, and she just hit the wall. Probably should have backed off and allowed Maddie Crenshaw go. Now that's going to put Trinity Lee now into the second position. Trinity and Addie are teammates, along with Punzo Albanus over at DVR. There's Shyla Askarov having a quiet run in the 5th position. Shyla finished 30th last week, was right near the danger zone of dropping out of the top 35, but with her having a good run today, that will probably change after today. And Maddie Crenshaw has also led the most laps today. She's been our only leader, as there's Henrietta Fitzwater. She is now on the tail end of the lead lap. So she did not lose a lap. And the caution is out for the 3rd time today. Oh, big wreck! The 20 is involved. Boy, Maddie Crenshaw did not want to see this caution. As we are racing back to the yellow, our 3rd one of the day. Didn't have any yellows in the Oreo Cup Series race when we were here last. And because this track is a brand new track to the Red Bull GT Series, since we've never raced here before, we're guaranteed our first ever winner at Riverside. Should point that out. Same thing for Saitama in 2 weeks. And all these drivers in the Red Bull GT Series does not have a race doesn't have a race next week, with the possible exception of Crenshaw, Ream, and a few others, as Maddie Crenshaw just passed the pace car for whatever reason, but she will woe up and let the pace car by. While she does that, let's jump back and look at the replay to see what happened to the 20. See what happened to the 20 here of Jorgen Smith. I think it's Smith. Looks like he got together with, who was that? That was Cervantes, and they had to throw the caution. That was clear as day to throw a caution. Tough break for Jogan Smith in the 20. Was having a solid run. He finished last week's race looking for the 21st. As everybody else did a good job avoiding Ricky Cervantes. Cervantes, former Truck Series champion, was 8th last week. He had a great run, so he's not going to have a good finish, and he'll definitely take a hit in the points as far as that's concerned heading into Saitama. The yellow's out for the third time today. Let's get to the restart here at Riverside. As we're going to wait for the lights to go out, which they have gone out, we're going to have 5 laps of racing to go. That means next caution that comes out when the race under the yellow, and somebody did retire out of the race, but it was not from that incident while we were in break. Matty Crenshaw still the leader. Alexander Underwood second. Trinity Lee third. Ponzo Albanus fourth. Addison Peterson fifth. Kyler Anderson sixth. Bradley Ream seventh. Jared Johnson eighth. Haven't talked about Jared Johnson all race. Ninth is Vanko Seaman, and 10th is Cody Goforth. Shyla Askarov just had an engine failure, a piston let go on the 07, and this could be troublesome for Shyla Askarov because she's right near that danger zone. Needed a good run today. Unfortunately, not going to get that finish, and she is going to join J Ard and Matthew Huber back behind the wall out of the race. So we will have 39 drivers on track and on the lead lap. So Shyla is going to have to be in go or go home qualifying at Saitama in 2 weeks. And I actually need to look up and see where Kyrgyzstan is on the map. As we are back to green here at Saitama. As Alexander Underwood trying to do the same thing that Addie Peterson tried to do on Matty Crenshaw, but this time Underwood backed out of it, so Matty Crenshaw still the race leader. Trinity Lee, Addie Peterson, Ponzo Albanus in that battle as we look at the back of the field. Skylar Taylor came in this race 9th in the points, so she's going to definitely fall out of the top 10 in points after today's race is over. Heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Saitama. I just now looked it up. Shyla Askarov's home race will not be as contact between Alexander Underwood and Matty Crenshaw. I was just getting ready to say before that happened, as Trinity Lee's going to get by Alexander Underwood, but Trinity Lee just got loose and went into the wall there. Boy, almost had an incident up here for the lead. That was close. What I was about to get ready to say before this incident happened, we're actually going to have Shyla Askarov's homecoming at Shanghai. Because Kyrgyzstan is right next to China, so Shyla Askarov will actually have the closest she will get to a home race, which is because there is no track in Kyrgyzstan. The closest she would get to would be Shanghai, which is in China. So that would be technically her home race, the closest she will get to a home race. So But I bet you the Chinese fans will still adore Shyla Asgrove in her home race, even though she's from Kyrgyzstan and the crowd's from China. And I was going to get ready to say before the second yellow came out, a lot of these drivers, some of them that are racing in only this series, they have Saitama to look forward to in a couple of weeks. If your drivers like Crenshaw, Underwood, Reim, Johnson, Jared Johnson, I'm not trying to confuse Jared Johnson and Betty Johnson, just so we're clear on that. They have the Oreo Cup Series race coming up at Dover, which after this race is done, they're going to shower, use the restroom, get on a plane, go over to the Monster Mile, which hope you'll join us Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Go or Go Home qualifying race, and then get ready for the Oreo Cup Series from Dover. And then Matty Crenshaw, Courtney Lynn and company are heading to 8 Bowl this Sunday for the Winston Cup race, which that is the only series in action because Trucks and Busch are off this week. So there you go. And of course, next week, and I've already mentioned this now, but if you haven't mentioned, the Oreo Cup Series race at Talladega is only 2 minutes and not like 30 something minutes because I got copyrighted by the fucking Simpsons. And yeah, that was not pretty funny. And of course, that was when we were still in Airbnb at the time when I recorded that race, which was a bit of a shame because we had some good fuel mileage in that event. So there won't be something to be proud of as far as that is concerned. As the white flag's out, one more lap to go for Matty Crenshaw. And then I'm going to look up what do we got the following week while Red Bull is off this week or next week. Which I do apologize for not having. Oh, we go to Texas the following week for Oreo. We have Atlanta for Trucks, Busch, and Cup. So there you go. As Punzo Albanus, can he get around Matty Crenshaw? Looks all contact there as we're coming off the final corner. Punzo Albanus out of nowhere is going to win at Riverside. I was too busy, talking about our schedule coming up. I didn't realize Ponzo Albanus caught Matty Crenshaw, and Ponzo Albanus will get his first career Red Bull GT Series win. The question is, was it enough to get him in the top 35? Wow. Almost shades of what we saw when Bill Gray at the runoffs at Heartland Park in 2008 caught Tony Ave, who had a fuel issue. And I don't know if Crenshaw had a fuel problem or something because Albanus came out of nowhere and caught the 36. And we all thought Matty Crenshaw was going to run away and win this race start to finish, but that's a guaranteed U Blue. It's still waiting for the standings to be official, by the way. And there they are. Yeah, I've already exported it, but because of a little mistake, I had to fix something. So, Alexander Underwood third. That's a heartbreaker for Crenshaw. So that's going to be an obvious you blew it from as Cody gets to do that to Matty Crenshaw. Bradley Reim fourth. He will keep the points lead. Addison Peterson, a well-needed run. This will definitely get her out of the bottom of the points table, leaving today with a fifth. So this will get her more than likely in the top 35 and locked into Saitama in a couple of weeks. Jared Johnson, 6th. Trinity leads 7th. Kyler Anderson, Vanko Seaman, and Cody Goforth 2nd in points. Finished 10th. So Goforth will stay in the top 10 of the points. He'll still be 2nd as far as that is concerned. The question I have, as I actually need to go back to the points. The question I have is who would take the points lead in regards to the Rookie of the Year standings, believe it or not. Because let's see, Sarah Redmond, as you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results, ooh, this is not good. Let's see. Oh, David Santi went out of the race due to a mechanical failure towards the end of the race. That's going to probably put him outside the top 35. That actually puts him out of the top 35 for sure. And he joined Shyla Askarov, Jesse Ard, and Matthew Hubert behind the wall. 3 of the 4 had mechanical failure. Jesse Ard, the only one involved in a crash in our 3 cautions that we had here today. Where did the 86 finish? 14th. So Shyla finished, or not Shyla, excuse me, Sarah Redmond finished in 14th. The guy who came into this race 2nd in the Rookie of the Year standings, Jonathan Wong, 29th. Oh, that's not good for Jonathan Wong. And, of course, Vanko Seaman finished ahead of Sarah Redmond. So I would think, looking at my Rookie of the Year standings, I would think Vanko Seaman would take the Rookie of the Year points lead. What was the gap between him and Redmond? It was 3 points. So it looks like Vanko Seaman will take the Rookie of the Year points lead in regards to the Rookie of the Year honors. In regards of the overall standings, Bradley Ream, with his 4th place finish, will keep the points lead heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Saitama. I hope you enjoyed today's race from here at Riverside. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV. For the private use of our audience, any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast here today. We showed your full finisher results. Your points will be down in the description with your Rookie of the Year standings heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Saitama. For that. Next week, as I said, we have the Oreo Cup Series race, even though it's going to be a 2-minute video, from Talladega Super Speedway. And also that same week, when we have Oreo at Talladega, even though you're only going to see like a 2-minute video, which I'm really sorry about that, but you can blame my roommates for putting on The Simpsons and not turning the damn TV down like they're supposed to. That way I don't get quote-unquote copyrighted. We have the Atlanta weekend coming up for Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup Series, but we got to finish up this race weekend first of all, as we head to Dover for the Oreo Cup Series, as they will race at the Monster Mile on Wednesday, and then the Winston Cup Series drivers, which we will see Maddie Crenshaw, Courtney Lynn, and others race on Sunday at the April Super Speedway. Hope you'll join us for that. Until then, I've been Dino signing off. We'll see you guys next time, as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013. Goodbye from Riverside.